coming in hot. Yeah, coming in hot.
Coming in hot. I'm going to invite my friend Steven onto the stage. Come on, Steven. How you doing, bro? Happy Thanksgiving,
Doing
man.
great. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Getting ready for some turkey. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you frying turkey? Are you smoking turkey? Are you basting turkey? What's your turkey in? What you doing?
No, we eat steaks, man. Just down with. Like, why? I don't even care for turkey that much. So I care for steaks. So let's just eat steaks.
We're going to have some steak. Yeah, we thought about doing roast or something, but we're going to stick to the turkey. I make the turkey every year, and so I'm going to stick to the turkey. I usually get a smoked turkey, which is absolutely brilliant. But last year they wanted my turkey, so I was able to do that. And we're going to do something a little bit different. I like these turkey rolls. They're like turkey. It's different. It's just, but I'm able to season it well. And so it comes out like a little turkey roast. It's really fun. So
that sounds
I
good.
do that. But yeah, it's really tasty. It's good. But I understand, getting down to making the turkey, getting the turkey, having that turkey work is a completely different situation. Yeah.
Yep. Heard that.
So how's it going? You doing well? How's business?
Business is good. Everything is good. Media is good. Taco's good. We found a godsend of an employee, so everything's been good. I feel like we can really build now, which is awesome.
That's awesome. Really well, it's been a bit, man. You were out traveling, doing your thing. Last week I had a power outage. Power outage. Literally, my power was out for like 3 or 4 days, and my cell phone use was gone. I mean, I never thought I could lose my cell phone, and I realized I am not ready to be off grid. I have to come and do some. I have to get over there to Idaho and do some off grid training, and try to figure out how I can live off grid. I have a generator. We had a generator, and first time I kicked that generator on, I'd never used it. We had it for 2 years, just sitting there, and it runs on either propane or propane or gas. And so we had some propane tanks in the garage when we put those on, but it just burned the propane like that. So I was running out of fuel, and then I switched it over to gas, and the gas stations were closed. Only a couple of them were open. Wow. And there was no gas cans. Everyone was buying up the gas cans. It was crazy. And then I had no cell phone to call. And of course, I don't even think we have a landline, even if I wanted to.
Wow. That's a good practice run though. Now you know how to be prepared for next time.
Yeah, well, we're set, man. I got multiple generators. I got a little cell phone generator. Even though my cell phone didn't work. So all right, man. We're gonna get in this. If you're online and you're watching online, share this with people. We're gonna talk today briefly about false weights and false measurements. And when you deal with false weights and false measurements, that means that there's a problem in your standards. And I want to make sure that when you're doing business, you are working on the same standards. You and your client, you and your customers are working on the same standards. Otherwise, there's a false weight and false balance, and there's false measurements. Stephen, I don't know if you know that the leading state on civil suits and lawsuits for business is California. There's more people that are contractually fighting over their contracts in law in the court system because people come with an idea, but not necessarily the same standards. And when you do business without the same standards, your ideas will not fit no matter how much you want them to fit. And it will cause conflict. Right. And I want to go into 2025. I want to end this year, go throughout this year without false weights, without false balances, and make sure that we're all on the same page, on the same route, doing the same thing so that we can win big, win well. This is going to be a season of collaboration. The reason Steve and I work together, we collab on things. because collaboration is going to be key to taking down the big mammoths. Whatever you want to grow in, whatever you want to build in, it's going to be big. So in a moment, I'm going to jump into that. Go ahead and contact some people. Let some people know that we're on Talking Today Success Church. And we're going to be talking about how to make sure that you have the same standards, false weights, false balances, false measurements completely removed, and how to recognize the signs that you're in that and how to fix that. It's going to be very important. Do that. Anything you want to share,
Awesome.
Stephen, before you jump in?
No, I don't want to hold you back. Let's get into it. It's great.
All right, buddy. Good to see you. Let's go.
Likewise.
All right. Make sure you connect with people. Make sure you talk to people, share, connect. Najma, good to see you from the UK. So excited about your business. And I know that there's other people that have business that you want to grow in. And I'm just going to release this. This is a message for a season, for the season. I think that we just come out of this. People are shocked. They're going, people are really shocked. There's literally like a travel company that's going to pay people to go for 4 years on vacation to try to get out of the Trump leadership season. They're like, because people are confused, they're overwhelmed. They're like, how did this happen? How did he win? And it's obviously he didn't steal, he didn't do anything wrong. He just won. It was a complete sweep. How did that happen? And people are disillusioned because they had false weights, false balances, false finish lines, false understandings, false mindsets, false standards. And there's been a season of false. So that means there's going to be a drive for a season of what's real. What is real balances? I'm noticing in my inbox, there's a constant barrage of these what is it, Black Friday, these big Black Friday sales. And I'm thinking, I thought that was that was one day, that you had this one day, this major sale, the day after Thanksgiving. It was going to be Friday. And then they added years later, they had a Cyber Monday because they wanted to make sure that everybody online had it. But now it's just every single day I'm getting a new marketing sales strategy. And it's now, don't miss out. I'm like, which one do I not miss out on? Because it's like every day is this day. And I think that there's a false weights and false balances happening in even our marketing strategies. It's interesting because I just this last 2 weeks, launch online for Kingdompreneurs, it hit bestseller. Well, I just needed to make sure that when we were moving forward and strategizing and marketing and getting it ready and promoting, that it wasn't going to have false weights and false balances, that it was going to be truly a success. And so get it out there in front of enough people to do it. But we couldn't do just any kind of marketing. You have to be right. You have to be righteous. You have to have standards. And so I want to start off with this place of standards, this place of understanding that false weights and false balances is not about keeping things balanced, but about keeping the truth as a standard. And when you understand that you have to keep the truth as a standard, if you're just trying to make things balanced, you can make things balanced and skewed in your own view. In creating images, and I've been for years a designer in Photoshop and a designer and an editor for videos. I did all of that for years. I was paid on staff, first as a staff member of a church, and then I just did graphics for years. Well, there's this understanding of what there's this standard, and then there's anamorphic. And anamorphic is when you just bend one side of a picture down that will make it look like it's skewed. The anamorphic, this is kind of like an anamorphic view. When there's a skewed and wrong standard, everything becomes anamorphic. One person thinks that they have the clear side of it. It looks fine. They have the one standard, and the other side is skewed. It's pulled to the side or skewed down. And when you understand that you can see things, the same things, but not see the same thing the same way, there's an anamorphic view when you have false standards and false weights and false balances. So I want to repeat this again. Keeping the standard, or keeping and getting rid of false weights and false balances, is not just about keeping things in balance. It's about keeping things to a true standard. That means the word standard has to be a part of what you do. The idea, the one thing that was hard for people to jump into cryptocurrencies because everyone wanted to know what was the standard it was based upon. What's the standard of a cryptocurrency? Well, it's a blockchain. Well, what does that mean? Well, what's it backed by? What's the back? Was it backed by gold? Like, like the fiat money is supposed to be, right? No, it's not backed by gold. What is it backed by? It's backed by an idea. Well, that was hard for people. And so it took a long time for people to jump into cryptocurrency because there was no standard. And I was in many, many different conversations with people who were going to bring a standard to cryptocurrency. One was I was on the Diamond Exchange in the Netherlands, and I'm sitting there, and this is the biggest diamond transition position in the Netherlands, or in now it's kind of in Brussels, but it was like the place where diamonds happen. This is the Diamond Exchange. This is the biggest block and most protected area. When I'm there and they're going, what we're going to do is we're going to associate diamonds to cryptocurrency. It's going to give people standard. But no one wanted that standard because that standard kind of brought a limitation to it. But standards are necessary. When you understand that you're going to build on a standard, you're going to build relationships on a standard, you're going to build your brand on a standard. You don't want to have a brand that doesn't have a standard. You want to have your brand have a standard. You want to have your message. Your message has to have a standard. Your profile, your atmosphere has to have a standard. I have a real cringe moment when I walk into one place and it's lovely, it's wonderful, and the food is great and the hospitality is great, and the next week I go into that place and food's not great and hospitality is not great, and they don't have that cool Sade music on, and it's not quite the same. The standard has been dropped. It's false weights and false balances. It makes me not want to go back there again. Proverbs 20 says this about the false weights and false balances. I think it's a brilliant verse. Just write this down, dig it in, pass it on to someone else. Proverbs 20 verse 9, it says, who can say, I have made my heart clean, I am pure from my sin? Now that's in position. Who can say? It doesn't mean that you can't say, but who can? Who's the person that can say, I made my heart clean, I'm pure from my sin? Verse 10, diverse weights, diverse measures, they are both alike an abomination to the Lord. Diverse weights and diverse measures. If you don't know, diverse weights and diverse measures is being associated, and is only in the scriptures associated to business transactions. He's talking about if you have business transactions that aren't really founded by your passions, by true heart, true clean hands, clean heart, you're going to have false weights and false balances. And you need to know that false weights and false balances is the way people do transaction. And if every time you see it in the scriptures, it's referring to this false weights and false balances. This is the picture. When I'm in sales, or let's say I run a store back in the day, and I had under my table, I had two kinds of scales. I had one scale that was set to false, and I had another scale that was set to standard. And when I'm buying something, I am pulling up the false scale, and the false scale is going to benefit me, meaning when I buy it, I'm going to get more for what I pay for. I'm going to get more. I'm expecting to get more from you than what I'm paying for. I expect to have that my standards are right and your standards are wrong. And I realized this week that people don't treat customers right. I'm travel a lot, and I'm realizing, man, people in business, you just don't think about the client. You don't think about the customer. You pull up a scale and you put up these false standards, and you expect to get more from the client than what they should be paying. There's an expectation that you're right and they should just take whatever they get. I think that's a false weight and false balance. We need to be the people that understand that false weights and false balances are not the true standard. So this was only for the sake of me buying. I want to get more flour than what I'm paying for. So I want you to I have this scale, measured it off to point to where I always win, right? The casinos say the house always wins, right? So you want to make sure that this false weights and false balances. So you put this down, but when you're selling, you pull up another standard that sets it up to where you're winning again. So you have a false weights and you have false balances. These are false balances. You put something on it and the balances are off. Nothing fits. Nothing's right. And when he's talking about this, he's talking about don't do business with you in mind and without the client in mind. Don't do business where you win and no one else wins. This is really truly about a win-win. That concept of win-win is that I win and you win. If I walk away and you don't win, then I'm never going to win from you again. I want to make sure I continue to win. Don't bring in false weights and false balances. How do you make sure that you have false weights and false balances out? First of all, change your standard. Your standard has to be set to a way that you are helping and benefiting other people. Don't just set your standard based upon, I'm going to do whatever I can do to get you into this program. And when I'm in the program, I'm going to shuck off all responsibility. I'm not going to give you the best that I have. I'm going to give you the best up front. And you hear this, give them the value, the best up front, and then leave the other stuff, whatever you have, the lower stuff. No, you can't do that. I've been thinking about this idea with Jesus. He's going to this wedding with his mom. He goes to this wedding and he takes all of his disciples. His mom obviously has some kind of influence in the wedding. When the wine runs out, the mom comes to him, Mother Mary. She comes and she says, Jesus, I need you to do something about this. And he goes, what am I? I'm not here doing business. What do I have to do with this woman? What does this have to do with me? And then she says, she just stops looking at him. She turns to his cohort, his disciples, and says, whatever he says, do. She turns to the servants, whatever he says, do. I want you to do it. And then he's left to do something. What does she want? She wants him to help her keep the standard. She wants him to help her keep the standard. He immediately goes to work and he sees these empty pots that are used for washing up. These are ceremonial pots. They probably have a ring in the top of it because people wash their hands and they clean themselves before they're eating. They're going to feast. Well, these pots are empty, but they may not have been washed. He says, go and fill those up with water and then go and let the master of ceremony drink out of it. Now, this is beautiful because to me, there is something about to happen. The master of ceremony says this. He says, as he drinks it, he goes, wait, let's stop everything. You are the most incredible host there is. You're the most incredible business people I've ever encountered. This is incredible. Most people put their good up front and then serve their worst later. He says, but what you've done is you not only serve good up front, but you serve the best at the end. Now that to me, Jesus saved his mother's business, her whatever she's in, her influence. He saved her influence by making sure that there was no false weights, no false business, no false standards, no false strategies. There was nothing fake. It was all real. And what he did is he established a good name and established a good rapport and established a good business strategy. No false weights, no false business, no false measurements. If we can get rid of false weights and false measurements, the other thing I want to bring out with this idea is he said, most people start with good, but you have made sure that it's good at the end. That when you work with God's strategies and you work with God's plan and you work with Thanksgiving, you work with all the things that you're going to work out, it's about making sure that you're offering the client good. You're giving them everything that they walk away and go, this is good. This is exactly what I expected. Now, if you can serve in such a way, now, are you going to make everyone happy? Listen, this is a generation that has been trained to complain. They've been given review, right? They've been given opportunity to review everything. And when you've been given people opportunity to say whatever they want to say, you're going to have trolls, you're going to have knuckleheads, you're going to have people but you will be able to read between the lines of those that say, this is good, this is good, this is good. And you have 50 people saying this is good, and you have one troll, one person that's trying to bring their own false weights and false balances. You'll recognize that, and you'll know what is important. You'll have to understand that everybody is going to see it from their view. And when you work with your best, and you put your best out there, and you keep your standard out there, and you don't let diverse weights and diverse measurements lead you lead with integrity. You lead with righteousness. You lead with purity. Wow, that doesn't work right now. Well, let me tell you something. It's going to have to work because we're watching what's going on in the news. We're seeing people that are going, I've been deceived. Why is Donald Trump president? Is because people feel like they've been deceived. They feel like they've been lied to for a long time. And that's not going to stop there. It's hitting in politics, but it's going to hit in every aspect. And you need to be the person of integrity in your business with no false weights, no false balances, with standards that people know that when they come to you, they're getting the truth. They're going to get what is real. And if you can't do it, you're going to say it. If you can, you're going to say it. If you're going to work at it, you're going to say it. But make sure you don't give false weights and false balances. And because this is the power of destruction. Sarah is in this situation. Sarah Abraham is in this situation where she wants to have a baby so badly. And she's wanting to have a baby with Abraham and Abram. And she says this, she has this idea. You know what I'm going to do, what's been done before in the culture. I'm going to give my maid to my husband to be his wife, a second wife. And so takes Hagar, suggests take Hagar as your wife, and she can have a birth a child for me, and she will birth a child between my legs, and she will birth this child for me, and this will be our child. And so this was Abraham. I don't know why he did it, but Abraham, he did it, man. He did it. He said, yeah, let's go for it. And he I don't know if he should have had an agreement. I don't know. You should have saw that one coming. Let me just tell you, Abraham, you should have saw that one coming, Abe. You should have realized that was not going to work. And so later, Hagar has this baby, Ishmael, and she is so excited. She's now married. She's got a baby. She's looking now at Sarah going, you can't do what I do. I mean, can you think of, you can't do what I do. You may be the woman of the house, but you can't do what I do. I've given this man a baby. And the scripture says that she starts to look at Sarah differently. What is she looking at Sarah like? Well, this is what she's doing. Now, she's looking at Sarah. She's going, Sarah, I'm able to give Abraham a child, but not only am I able to give him a child, I'm no longer going to act like your slave girl because I'm also married to him. Well, this makes me equal. So she starts looking at Sarah as if she's equal. Sarah's still looking at her as if she's a servant. And Abraham's trying to look innocent in the whole thing. He's not innocent at all. You have to understand, these are three different individuals in the same circumstance, seeing the same thing, but all seeing it from a different perspective, meaning the standard is broken. Now it's going to break up covenants. Now relationships are going to break up. Sarah's going to say, you got to get rid of this woman. Hagar is like, now I should be the head of the house. And Abraham's like, I just want peace. I just want peace. These are all different standards. And when you realize that there is no way until they all get on the same page that there is going to be anything healthy coming out of this. And God helps them get on the same page. Why am I saying this? Is because I need you to understand that false weights and false balances will enter into your relationships if you don't get on the same page. We're going into a holiday season. We're going into Thanksgiving this week. We should be getting on the same page with Thanksgiving. That's a great way to get on the same page, just to say thank you to someone. What are you saying thank you for? Let me tell you why I'm thankful. This is why I'm thankful for you. That gets on the same page. I know it feels corny. I'm not the kind of person who likes to do it around the table. Let's everybody say what's there. If you do, forgive me. I shouldn't. But I'm not that person where I want to sit around the turkey and go, everyone say something good about each other, thankful. But if you are going to show Thanksgiving, go to the people you have covenant relationship with and tell them how thankful you are in your business. Write a card, send out a letter, send out an email if that's the best you can do, but make it personal to your clients this year in Thanksgiving, this year in Christmas. I'm telling you, I tell people to do this every year, and I don't know how many people do it, but remember the people that do business with you. Send them something. Send them a card. Let them know you're thankful for them. Let them know that you're thinking about them. And then when they go to do business again, they'll think about you. This is a good time to get another group of people that you've done business with to go back into the referral bin and go back into that space and say, hey, I'm so thankful for you. I appreciate you. Listen, I want to make sure that you understand how much I appreciate your business. Go back into that. I know it's old school. I know, but there's some things that were old school that still work. It's called customer service. It's called one of the greatest marketing strategy is having amazing customer service. And when you realize that you have amazing customer service, when people feel like they have been a blessing in doing business with you, they want to do business with you again. And if you just take this moment Get rid of false weights and false measurements. Well, they're my client. I should expect something from them. They should come and do. No one does it better than me. I'm the best in the world. Get past all of that. Be thankful. Be grateful. Use this moment to get on the same standard with people and let them know how grateful, how thankful you are for them. Send them a little card. Send them a little thing. I have a realtor. She sends out Thanksgiving stuff I don't use her. She lives in a whole different area, but she sends it to me. And I saw her on the plane one day. We were leaving a conference, and I saw her on the plane. I said, I really appreciate the fact that you send these cards every season. First of all, you remind me when to turn the clocks and all of that stuff. Of course, my Apple does it, but I thank you for all of that. But I'm really grateful that you keep in touch with me, even though I'm not a client. And it's amazing because I feel like I have a rapport. And every time I see it, I kind of get excited that she's just letting me know she's there. And if you can do that, you'll get on the same page with people and you'll start to put the same truth, the same standard. Then you want to go to an extra mile. And then in January, or in the, give some hints in December. This is one hint that I found not how not to burn your roast or whatever. Give some hints, give something that relates with your business is great too. But then in January, give some hints about how to start the year off right. And then in February, give some hints about how to make that month of Valentine February, February has been kind of hijacked by a lot of things, but go back to romance. Go back to reminding people this is the month of love. This is the month of that. And then get back into their lives and then go back in the St. Patrick's Day, celebrate my birthday, right? But just use the seasons to communicate Thanksgiving, communicate appreciation, keep the standard in their life. And this is going to be a great way to do business. I believe that when you say thank you to someone, it takes away any false weights and false balances. We'll start off with that. Take away the false weights and false balances. We start to get on the same page. We start to get on the same standard, and you'll start to see business take off for you. Hopefully that's been a benefit. That's been helpful, been encouraging, because I want you to win in this season. You have anything you want to add to that? You want to jump in a little bit, Stephen? Right. Oh, let me get your mic right. Sorry. There you go.
You got me?
Yep.
I love that because I operate the media agency was very virtual. So working with people online through cameras, but working in the taco trailer has, allowed my wife and I and our employee to be able to really touch people in a more physical way. And there's a concept called unreasonable hospitality. And there's two main concepts of that. One of them is focusing on how people feel, not just the product or the service. And another one is the 95-5 rule. So 95% of our income goes to managing the business, but 5% goes to foolishly spending it on things that provide an experience or a feel. Yes. For example, I just bought a 6-foot Santa Claus with a Mexican sombrero on, and he's got 2 candy canes and mariachis because that provides an experience. I got a 15-foot snow globe because that provides an experience. We could just serve out tacos out the window, but you don't put a smile on their face. You don't, it's that experience that really retains people to come visit you again and again and again. And I found it hard to have that experience when I was doing virtual stuff with my clients, but having a physical location and people that you could tangibly touch, tangibly see, and have a real conversation and folloh up on a conversation you had like the week prior to, that is super, super powerful. And it's really rewarding as well.
Yeah, that's rich. I was at the Puyallup Fair last year, and these the rides are going on and everything. And then next to the bingo hut, I was standing next to the bingo hut waiting for kids to get off the rides. And there was this one of those those little blow up things that are doing this, but it's just it's one of those, it's just like, but it's a little one, and it's a Seahawk looking one. And the kids, they would forget about all the other stuff that's going on. The kids were just gathering around, just watching that thing. And I'm thinking, what an amazing thing. Just one little extra idea, like you're doing with the sombrero and the Santa Claus. That one little extra that gets attention, that keeps attention, that helps people feel connected. I think it's a brilliant idea. I love the ratio as well, taking 5% of your budget and adding that into just the client experience. Absolutely. I think people do that. They try to do that virtually online with bonuses. It's getting a little bonus heavy, bonus crazy. You have to almost, I see people giving away Teslas now. Hey, come to my my virtual thing, and I'm going to give you a house in the Arizona and a Tesla and a full year's of salary. Right? It's like it just, but there's got to be this connection where there's true value that's being added, and I appreciate the stacks of bonuses as well. I have a tendency, I want to find a better way to do it as well.
And I think you can do it if you don't have a physical business. If you just allocate your own personal pay, if I didn't have the taco trailer and we just had my household take home from the media stuff, it's almost like a tithe. Instantly 10% goes away. What if 5% was allocated just blessing somebody just for the heck of it? Like a random act in the store, paying for groceries, paying for something like that. That's also a way to touch somebody too. If your business is virtual, you don't have actual physical contact, but allocating that 5% I love how the concept says to spend it foolishly. Like spending money foolishly is very, very fun. I could do that all day, but when you have like actual agency to do that, then it gives you freedom to really touch someone's life, especially now in this season of Thanksgiving and Christmas and things like that. It makes it even funner.
People used to use that 5% strictly as advertising budget money. And I love that.
That is advertising.
That's the best advertising now is going to be how your customers are experiencing you. And I believe that that's going to be a very important thing. Yeah. Well, Stephen, anything else you want to share? That's great tidbit. I love it. Let's continue. Don't forget, people, we have a community for you. School.com/influencers. See my new influencers hat. Stephen designed this new logo.
I saw that.
That's good. I got one for you, but I forgot to send it to your house. I sent it to me, so I'll send you one.
Just come on over.
I'll just come on. I'll just bring it. I'll bring it to you. Looking forward to it. Don't forget school.com/influencers. Make sure you get connected there. And if you have anything that you want us to dig into, you're working on marketing strategies, you're working on a business, you're working on launching something, I'm getting ready to give opportunity to help you write a book and to launch that book in 60 days as a bestseller to give you new level of credibility. I'm going to give that opportunity here shortly, but I want you to jump into school.com/influencers because we're going to be teaching so much and there's so much content already there. If you're growing, if this is helpful, then jump in there. The other thing I want to throw out there, no one's taken advantage of it yet. I think people they go, great, I love it. I love the idea. But I really, really want you to be able to come on or at least submit something to us so that we can dig in and give you a good case study and on Success Church go, listen, this is important. This is what so-and-so is going through. And let's give her some advice. So if you want some advice in business, you want some advice in virtual business or the brick and mortar business as we both have been in, then jump in and let us know about that. Any other thoughts before we jump off?
No, all right. That was great.
Stephen, good to see you, man. Appreciate you. Love you.
Likewise.
All right.
Love you too.
All right, everybody. This has been Success Church. I want you to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be nice to each other. Be thankful. And I'm going to just show you a brief connect point with Destiny Channel, one of our sponsors. And I want you to just see what we're doing and how we're building in this next season. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Life is too important to leave it up to chance. You and I are meant to live by design. You are a guided person with a divine purpose. You deserve to have input that matches your destiny. Imagine engaging with a decentralized media platform whose very purpose is to empower, educate, and entertain you as you live the most powerful and purposeful life designed by God. You're walking with destiny, and we're here to help you on the road that God has ordered for you. Imagine a platform that hosts music, ministry, movies, and marketplace content, all merging faith and entertainment. Join the movement of musicianaries and media missionaries, those who feel the restraint of the current media agenda and know that truth needs to be fought for and revealed to the world. Your destiny is calling, and the time is now. Let's partner together to establish God's kingdom through media. Destiny Channel, where faith meets entertainment.
I'm coming in hot.